What's going on, Laker fans and haters? Coast here talking Lakers 2012-2013 season preview. As always, I preview every one of my teams for the season. Can't talk about them in season as always, but getting my thoughts off on the Lakers. First of all, what an offseason. We all know what happened. First off, Steve Nash was signed through sign and trade. Didn't impress me a whole lot, for those of you who remember my video. Figured, okay, we're just getting older, we're getting stupider. Then, the big trade for Dwight Howard happens. Giving up only buying him and a protected, top 20 protected first round pick, which really that's just kind of a decent exchange of big men. Do you take the third or second best big man in the league for the best man? Of course, you do that any day. And honestly, in that trade, I think, I'm not going to be arrogant about it, but I do think the Magic ripped themselves off because of the whole void they were in. They did not get anything good in that deal. The 76ers and the Nuggets got better. Magic, they just kind of got nothing, in my opinion. They got a bunch of trash, and they got some late first-round picks that really, I don't know what they're going to do with those, because late first-round picks in the NBA don't mean very much, unless you're very good at scouting. But otherwise, not exactly kind compensation for the Magic. Dwight Howard comes to LA, injured. Now, with that being said, this season, I don't know if I'm exactly saying we're contenders like some people are blowing us up as. I know it's nice you have a starting five of Steve Nash, Kobe Bryant, Metta World Peace, Pau Gasol, Dwight Howard on paper. That sounds great, doesn't it? Except this team's getting old. A little too old. It's kind of annoying that this team got older by signing Steve Nash, but it's true we didn't have a great point guard, and Ramon Sessions was just kind of a rental, whatever you want to call it. But this team's old, and I don't like Steve Nash's defense all the way. But Dwight Howard, we all know what he can do defensively. We all know he can be a force. It's kind of frustrating to think that he could only be with the team for 1 year because of the way his contract is. I don't even know if he'd be re-signed a year after. They're putting all... There's a saying of going all in poker, and they're doing pretty much this by signing an old Steve Nash and getting Dwight Howard still with only 1 year left on his contract, which is pretty crazy to think that. Moving on, though, yeah, as I said, this lineup is getting old. On paper, this would have been a great lineup 3 or 4 years ago, definitely with everybody in their prime. Some guys are getting past their prime. They got to put the word T in team. They can't just be playing for themselves. I think these guys are old enough to know that. They're veterans. But I still don't see the thing of chemistry coming together right then and there. The issue I'm having, of course, is that, remember the Miami Heat did not immediately win when they had who they got in Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh and, of course, LeBron James. I think they started 9-9 or 10-9 to start the year in their first 19, 20 games. They were somewhere around 500. Not so great. I could see the Lakers playing like that to start the year. Don't be surprised. Because chemistry, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time to gel. Even with these preseason games going on, it still takes time to work together and that stuff on the court. I know basketball can be an individual's game with the way people take so many shots, but it still should be a team game, and I think some teams can show it's like that. Sadly, Lakers, they're going to have to work together, and it's not going to be easy overnight. The depth. I don't exactly like our depth in terms of good depth players. I think we got older there, getting guys like Antoine Jamison, who's ancient. I don't know what he's going to do. The only good depth guy we have down low is Jordan Hill. I think he's solid. And then at the guard position, Jody Meeks will be fine. But the backup point guard, I don't know if I have any faith in Steve Blake. I have almost no faith in him. Darius Morris, I haven't seen anything out of him. He's spent time in the D-League. Andrew Gowdlock has been promising, but yeah, not exactly sure there. And then, of course, the size down low. I already mentioned Antoine Jameson being somewhat of, I think, power forward, but not impressed all the way. And then you got Robert Sacre, who is our draft pick. Not a whole lot in the depth. The Lakers are one injury to their starting five away from being another mediocre team. In terms of expectations, yeah, I feel that we're a better team than we were before, and I feel the Lakers are a top 5 team, but are they the best team? No. I still believe the Bulls, I still believe the Thunder, and I still believe the Miami Heat, of course, are better than us. Maybe you could argue the Spurs because of their experience and chemistry of knowing each other. Lakers, right in the conversation because they have guys like Dwight Howard and Kobe Bryant together on the same team. I know they're good. It's going to be talked about a lot all year. Expectations are going to look high because of who's there. Don't be surprised if they're just not the true contenders maybe people might say they are. Mike Brown, which brings me to another point. Mike Brown, how good will the team look defensively? This hiring was laughed at not so long ago because he didn't do a whole lot in Cleveland per se. People say he was just lucky to have good talent around him. Well, we'll find out what he'll do with this talent. If this team crumbles later in the season and we see more mediocre play after the first quarter, yeah, some of this is going to go on Mike Brown. We'll see how bad or not these guys can bond together. I still expect this team to at least they make the Western Conference Finals. That would be my personal expectation. I think the Thunder are still a little better than us. But as the season rolls on, maybe we'll see that dominance going on throughout the season. But I still do not like our bench. We have to make one or two moves somewhere in the middle of the season to improve the bench. Because right now, the bench to me is just average, not impressive, and I don't like what I'm seeing there. But I think the Lakers will be good. They should at least win the Pacific Division. The Clippers will be right hanging in there with us. But in the start of the season, don't be fooled if this team starts playing mediocre to start, because chemistry, I said before, is not going to be exactly great. So let me know what you guys think of this Lakers team. My expectations are not championship or bust. I know in the big picture, with Dwight Howard potentially moving, it might feel that way, that they have to win now. But I don't think, as of right now, they will be a championship contender. That's just how I see it. Down the line, if they're playing well, and especially if they get hot at the right time, I'll probably feel that way a little bit more. But right now, chemistry, and they haven't played together enough, the starting five. And I said before, they're one injury away from being screwed. So let me know what you guys think. Lakers, something to look forward to. Let's go Lakers, and let me know what you guys think.